Okay. It was going to be titled Why Energy is the Secret to Growing Your Purpose or Growing Your Business or Growing whatever thing you're pursuing. Energy, energy, energy. That's a simple word I want you to remember because it all dictates on your energy. It all hinges on your mental energy, your emotional energy, and your physical energy too. If you have a lot of energy and you can exert a lot of energy into your purpose or your business or whatever thing you're pursuing, you're going to see it grow. You're going to see it flourish because that given thing requires energy. It requires a certain input from you. It requires your mental energy. It requires your emotional energy. It requires your physical energy, right? And if you have things in your life that are taking away from you this given energy, then what you'll find is that you'll have less energy to give it. So let's say this is you, kind of just doing a whiteboard today. No crazy diagrams today. So this is you, right? And you have only so much energy each given day. You could also factor in willpower into this conversation, but you only have so much energy. And here you have your, purpose, thing you want to pursue in life slash business. Oops. There we go. Okay. So you only have so much energy in a day, and this requires energy. It requires inputs from you. It requires, if we're talking about business, it requires you marketing yourself. It requires you selling, delivering for your clients. It requires you communicating with your team if you have a team. If you're a solopreneur, it may require you educating yourself, right? It may require you doing analysis, getting rid of things. All of these things require energy, right? So this is also known as throughput. So throughput is the amount of activity that a given system can basically put out. And the more throughput, the more activity a given system can put out, then the the more results that given system can produce, right? So for example, and a business of 100 people doing activities is going to produce more things faster than someone that's just by themselves, for example, or someone with more energy to put into their business. Let's say it's like two people. Someone, let's say this is you and then this is someone else, person B here, your person A. If they just have more energy to put because their energy is more directed towards what they're doing, then they're going to see more growth because there's more throughput, right? They're doing more marketing, they're doing more, sales, service delivery, right? They're brainstorming more, not just like active actions related to the business, but like things that may better their business or better their purpose in the future. So they may brainstorm, they may do analysis, they may better themselves, they may read books, they may exercise. They may do these things to allow them to have more energy, right? The more energy you exert, the more you essentially get back. The more you're capable of handling. Just like when you're working out, if you add more weight to it, you're exerting more, you're exerting more force to move that weight. That's going to take up more energy, more calories. You're burning more calories. However, you feel more energetic as a whole afterwards. Maybe not immediately afterwards, like you're more tired, but like the next day, you basically have more energy at your disposal, right? So this video isn't just about talking about, okay, yeah, your life purpose or your business needs more energy to thrive. Yeah, it does, but it's an opportunity for you to analyze, like, ask yourself this question: where is my energy going? Where is your energy going? You have to ask yourself that. What is taking up your energy? What is taking up your emotional, your mental, and your Draw a third line here. Physical energy. This is an important question to ask yourself. That way you understand where your energy leaks are. Like if you're consuming like media all day that takes up emotional and mental energy, you don't have time to put in this energy into your purpose or business, then that's an energy leak. And that's going to be something you have to be disciplined to get rid of so that you make room, right? When it comes to like bettering your life, you have to basically choose. You have to make sacrifices in one area in order to see growth in a different area, you know? So like what are you allowing to get to you? Like if you, like everybody has problems, but like what problems are you allowing to get to you emotionally, where you feel a sense of guilt, where you feel a sense of shame, where you feel a sense of overwhelm, all these emotions that affect how you show up in the world. Because if you don't know what these are and you don't know, and you don't change your relationship to them, you're just going to be having this emotional addiction. You're going to have emotional addictions like that, emotional addictions of guilt, of shame, of overwhelm. But if you change that, then it's not going to be like a problem for you anymore. Like what this looks like is, let's say you feel overwhelmed with life, then how are you going to feel going into your life purpose or business? You're going to feel that overwhelm is going to be like exacerbated, or you're going to be distracted by the previous overwhelm. Or if you feel shame about yourself because of, maybe negative habits you're doing or whatnot, that's just going to transfer over and affect other areas. you know your mental energy, like what are you focusing on? Are you living in the past a lot and you're overthinking things? Overthinking stops a lot of people from focusing on what's important. you know are you distracted by media? Like earlier I talked about how you know you can grow your purpose by working on yourself, right? It's not a direct thing you're inputting into your purpose, but you improving yourself as a person, that definitely affects your purpose, right? Especially long term. So if you don't have time to like maybe consume good information consistently, right? It's not enough to just watch this video and then, oh, okay, yeah, that was a nice video, and then move on. Like, no, what are you going to do with that information? Like, if you're not consuming good information consistently that betters you, then you're going to have a hard time staying consistent, especially if that distraction is due to, you know, like entertainment media, and like all you're watching is, funny videos, or all you're watching is sports, which I love sports, but I'm not going to watch it all day, you know? Physical energy. What's tiring you out, right? Where can you move your schedule around so that you do things when you have the most like physical energy? Like if you have to run a bunch of errands a certain time of the day, okay. Um Maybe you work on your purpose or work on the important things first before you have to exert that all that physical energy. Because after you exert all that physical energy, maybe when you get back, like you're just exhausted. Maybe that physical energy took up mental energy or emotional energy. I'm not saying don't handle your responsibilities, but like you have to time things right so that you have time and energy for the important things. It's not enough to make an excuse and say, "Oh, I don't have time, I don't have energy for this, that, and the third." Part of growth is as a person, part of growth, I tell my clients this, is creativity. Right? Having the ability to grow as a person is like correlated with your level of creativity. I mean, more so like probably continued growth. Why do I say that? I say that because you're going to have life is going to happen. Things are going to come up. You're going to get distracted, right? And if you aren't able to still do what you need to do despite these distractions, then life is always going to control what you do. Like you're not going to be able to stay consistent in the things you need to stay consistent in despite what's going on. And why I say creativity is because you need to be creative in your solution. You need to be creative in your solution. So like it's not enough to be like, oh, I'm too busy to do that marketing campaign and to get these clients here and to optimize this in my business, or I'm too busy to create a plan for my purpose and all of that. Like, no. Like, where's your creativity? And when you start exerting your creativity, what you're going to notice is that it's going to reveal limiting beliefs. When you exert your creativity, your creativity is going to start exerting, it's going to start revealing limiting beliefs that you have, because it's the limiting beliefs that are talking, by the way. When you say like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm this, I'm that, I got this going on, these aren't logical arguments. Like, they may present as logical arguments, but behind these logical arguments are limiting beliefs powered by emotion. So let me actually draw it like this. So like right here, the limiting beliefs are hiding behind your logical arguments. Like, let's take a logical argument. Actually, it's probably multiple. It's not always one. You probably have multiple excuses, right? So logical argument 1, logical argument 2, so on and so forth. You get the idea. So you have these logical arguments that essentially pose as your excuses, and they're powered by your limiting beliefs, and your limiting beliefs are powered by something else, which I'm going to get into just a second. So your creativity reveals your limiting beliefs, and your limiting beliefs are the things that pose these arguments that your creativity is trying to solve, right? So boom, 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 boom. But these limiting beliefs are powered by, ready for the word? Can you guess it? I'll tell you. Emotion. There are certain emotions, there are certain feelings that come about when you think of growing your business or life purpose. These emotions may be on actually the negative side, even though you consciously say you want to grow them. There are certain associations your subconscious mind might have about growing this or going towards this that creates a certain emotion, right? And these limiting beliefs, these beliefs can be powered by emotion. So for example, you might have the belief of, people are going to judge me, I might fail, I might succeed, and that might be uncomfy. I'm not smart enough. You might think this is true, right? So you have a host of limiting beliefs that pop up, and you have corresponding feelings because of these beliefs, right? So let's break it down. People are going to judge me. You might feel, shame from being judged. I might fail. You might feel a sense of, feeling dumb by failing. You have, let me just, whoops. I guess that's fine. When it comes to, I might succeed and that feels uncomfortable, you may feel a sense of guilt because you're succeeding and your friends aren't succeeding as much as you, right? So you feel guilt. Being not smart enough, you may feel a sense of, just got a text, not feeling smart enough, you may feel a sense of being left out. And these are all things you have to work on and break down so that you stop allowing these limiting beliefs and emotions to control what you consciously want to do. And I really emphasize this because if you don't do this, you won't change. Like literally, you won't change because the subconscious mind controls 95% of your behavior. So it doesn't matter what you consciously say; it will always overcome this 5% of your conscious mind. This is what I tell my clients in identity resonance. These are the things we work on, and this is why understanding your blind spots is so key and making sure you're not BSing yourself because your blind spots will just keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And that's why I always harp like, look, um, if you need help, like reach out, right? Like this is something these are exercises I've done with lots of clients. These are exercises I've done on myself. I mean, in fact, the identity resonance program, a lot of it is shaped around the tools I use to shift my beliefs, right? So let's recap. Your business or purpose requires energy, as much energy as possible, also known as throughput. The more throughput you can put, bars, the more throughput that's exerted, whether from you or you and others that help with growing your business, then the more outcomes there are, right? And you can think of throughput not just physically, you could think of throughput as mentally as well. Like, am I mentally input? Am I thinking the right thoughts of someone that would be growing a thriving business of theirs, right? So that's an example of throughput because thoughts affect action, of course, right? So what happens is that if your energy every day is like very inconsistently low, or like you're not putting as much into it, emotional, mental, and physical, you'll find that others that do have consistent energy, whether hey they exercise, they read, they rest their brain, they eat healthy, for the most part, they do things to help maintain energy, you'll find that they accelerate things faster. And I don't want you to look at these people from a this like insecure comparison standpoint, because that's not healthy. Just view it as like just inputs, data inputs. Like, okay, they're doing this. That's why they get that outcome. Okay. I'm just learning from it. I'm not beating myself up about not being where they're at. Like, no, because you're in your own journey and there's other factors here. But that's important. And you have to ask yourself, where's your energy going? Your emotional, your mental, your physical energy. You need to be very honest. Right? And if you have all these things going on in your life, okay, you have to get creative about how do I fit in my purpose? How do I fit in my business even more?